Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today let's fly the latest update of the TFDI design MD-11. We're going to do this in a UPS flight 2190 from Ontario to Philadelphia, which is a real-world flight that used to be operated on the MD-11. Now we're departing in absolutely fantastic weather in Ontario over here, just a few cirrus clouds up there. Other than that, beautiful weather conditions. Now Philadelphia is going to be quite enjoyable for us as well, but we're going to have a look into that once we're actually up here in our aircraft. Now GSX doesn't let me climb the ladder, so be it, then we are just going to run in like that. That's probably just making our life a lot easier anyway. Okay, and here we are in the flight deck of our MD-11 freighter, the November 258 Uniform Papa. Now, as always, we are going to get started by having a look into our flight plan, and after that we are going to prepare our aircraft for today's flight. But let's get started with a look into the flight plan. So we're departing Ontario, and then we're heading more or less in a straight line across the United States all the way over to Philadelphia. Significant weather chart, completely clear on the first part, and then we are crossing that jet stream here on the second one where some turbulence can be expected. Now, the weather in Ontario is beautiful, and over in Philadelphia it's a little cloudy but at high levels. 28 degrees already, so fantastic weather over there, and our alternate in Newark is quite nice as well. Couple gusts everywhere, but nothing to be concerned about. Okay, so our weather is good. Let's have a look into the plan then. UPS 2190 on the MD-11F, and we are leaving Ontario at 1800 UTC, arriving exactly on time in Philadelphia. Our weights in freedom units, not critical at all, flying in flight level 370, maybe flight level 390 later. We'll see whether I'm going to go up with that forecast turbulence or not. Probably not. Alright, let's have a look into our fuel. We need 83.5 plus 1,500 taxi, so that's basically 85.1. Let's make it 86,000 pounds of fuel, and then I think we are absolutely good to go. So 86 it is, and with that we can take a seat on the captain's seat of our MD-11 and start our pre-flight procedures. So the logbook's checked, the circuit breakers are all checked, and the emergency equipment is checked on board. The weather radar is switched off, the fuel switches are off, the park and brake is released, the spoiler and flap handles are retracted, the landing gear handle is down, the fuel dump and manifold drain switches are both guarded, emergency power selector is off, battery is on, and then we can turn the external power on. And with that, the aircraft does come to life. Now our buses are powered, we'll just give it a moment until all the displays are live, which is now, and then we can follow up with the fire tests. And that's looking fantastic. Then let's go ahead and turn up our FMCs. Here we go. Now, do we need APU power? Yes, we do. 26 degrees outside. Man, it's gotten hot. Alright, starting the APU, and then we can also turn on the 3 IRSs, which again is going to do the cargo fire test down here, and that is looking excellent. Alright, with all of that in progress, let's do the light tests, which is also looking fantastic. Now the APU is starting up, and everything is slowly coming together over here. Let's see, APU should pretty much be available now, so let's also turn on the APU bleed air in order to get the air conditioning going. Okay, so then let's head down into the FMC. Down here we got a bit of stuff to do as well. So we got an MD-11F, the nav database is up to date, flight plan in it. We are going to take this ride from SimBrief, and we're going to send this up to our FMC. Here we go, Ontario to Philadelphia, and that's going to be the UPS 2190. Okay, that's looking good. The position seems sensible, so let's initialize our IRS. And that's in progress as well now. Alright, fantastic. So all the basic stuff is done. Let's move right over here and set payload and fuel, please. and then we can just head over here and see what we got. So 463.6 looks good. 0 fuel weight. Actually, does that look good? View OFP. Yeah, 378,566. 130,000 pounds. Okay, that seems fine. 85.1 for the fuel. Yeah, let's just make that 85, please. So cargo 1300. Hey, what are you doing? 00, like that, and fuel quantity we wanted 86,000. Alright, that's looking good. Set payload. And now with that set, let's go ahead and request boarding in GSX. Like that. Alright, so that's pretty much everything prepared down here. Then let's start on the overhead panel. Flight recorder test is okay, cargo temperatures are okay, engine ignition is off, hydraulic pressure test on, and emergency power armed. That should carry out the test if I'm not mistaken. But anyway. Alright, moving further down then, APU bleed air is on, fuel gauges are tested and looking good, emergency lights armed, no smoking on, we'll stand by for the seatbelts, nav lights coming on, and then we got another side over here, where we'll do the GPWS test, then we're moving all the way down, refueling is finished, so we can reset the fuel used. Moving down to the main panel, we stick to our inches today. I'm so used to just switching that over. Not today though, we are flying in the States. So down here everything's set. We'll come back to our QNH later on. Alright, that's our standby horizon, auto brake into takeoff. Then frequencies we don't need just yet. We do want to get those radios going. Thank you very much. Down here everything's set. Squawk machine 2000 and above. And on the other hand side, listener VHF 1, VHF 2 and the interphone. Now down here we can already pre-select 1 to 1.5. Like this, and over here we'll just have to wait until a little bit later in the pre-flight procedure. Well, and with that we have carried out the most important stuff there. So then I'd say we are just gonna go ahead and get straight into preparing the airplane, shall we? Okay, so what do we have? Simbrief dispatch. Here we go. Ontario to Philadelphia. Alternate is going to be Newark. KEWR. Cruise flight level 370 and 390. Cost index is 104. Flight plan. Ontario. Sit. Runway 08 right. And we are departing via the, no idea how to pronounce that, 5 departure and the Las Vegas transition. Alright, insert, and then for our arrival into Philly, star, ILS Zulu 09 right, and Bojit for arrival, coming from Juliet Sierra Tango. Alright, and insert that. Alright, so far so good, then let's go ahead and have a look. Charts, airport, cont, sit, and that's it. Alright, so straight ahead to 1460 feet. And a plan mode, please. And we got 1460, maximum 210 knots. Then it's going to be a right-hand turn across Lisi above 5,000, Pomona below 8,000. So we got Lisi above 5,000, Pomona below 8,000, and then we continue via Brew and Livy, 12 and 14,000 respectively. So that's Brew 12,000 and Livy in 14,000. And then we continue via Xbox above 17,000, Navy, Blazon and Las Vegas. And we got Xbox 17,000, Navy, Blazon, Las Vegas. And all of that stuff looks good on our ND as well. Fantastic, then let's get on with our figures. So block fuel 86.0 seems correct. Then let's see about our weights. Zero fuel 378.6. Like that, we can accept the CGs. No, not ignored. Here we go, thank you very much. What else do we have? Alternate is 6. Not allowed, okay, yeah, we'll accept that. Then final reserve 6.2. Like that, and route reserves 2.1. Alright, that looks about okay. And then for takeoff performance, we'll take 0 and 0. The temperature is 26 degrees Celsius. Like that, and we're at a field elevation of 944, so we'll do the acceleration and the thrust reduction in 2000. So climb thrust 2000, acceleration 2000, and engine out acceleration 2500. Okay, for the climb thrust we'll pre-select the D-rated climb, like that, and that should be it. Okay, so finally let's go ahead and add our engine out waypoint. So looking at that sit, we can proceed straight at, well, maybe not 25 miles, let's do straight at like 15 miles on a 078 track. So that's gonna be on X, well, 2 from 08 right, based on cont /078/15 miles. Alright, ONT X2, enter, fixed page, ONT X2. Insert. Easy. Alright, and that looks roughly reliable. Okay then. I'd say we've done that stuff. Let's see if we can get a departure ATIS. ACAS, pre-flight, ATIS, and we're looking for cont. Sent. This ATIS is not available. Oh, lovely. Okay, so be it. Yeah, then we're not gonna get a departure ATIS. Let's see if we can get a departure clearance. So, facility KU as A, ATIS we don't have, so I'll call it Alpha, and our gate is... what do we have here? Can't see anything. 3 Delta. Alright, from Cont to Philly, aircraft is an MD-11. That looks all good. Send that clearance request. Then let's see what we are gonna get. Okay, looks like our alignment is finished. So what do we need? 078, climbing... well, that's that 8,000 restriction, thereafter flight level 230. So here's 230. Okay, and we'll probably both be using weather for today's departure. Okay, have we received anything? It is not available. ATC? Nope, we haven't. Okay, yeah, in that case, I guess we have to do everything via voice. So be it. So, airport, ATIS 12425. Okay, let's see if we can receive anything here.
2.-11. Altimeter 3005. Density altitude 2300 feet. Flight inspection aircraft active. Expect brief delays in departures. Advise on initial contact you have information Victor. Ontario International Airport. Information Victor. 1653 Zulu. Arriving and departing runways 8 right, 8 left. Wind 030 at 15 gusting 23. Visibility 10. Temperature 26, dew point -11. Altimeter 3005. Density altitude 2300 feet. Flight inspection aircraft active. Expect brief delays in departures. Advise on initial contact you have information Victor.
Okay, Asus Victor is on board. With that, let's go ahead and grab our IFR clearance. So, Ontario delivery is on 132.9. Ontario clearance, UPS 2190, information Victor, request IFR clearance to Philadelphia.
Stand by, you're number 1.
Alright, they're working on it.
UPS 2190, heavy, cleared to Philadelphia via the Sunshine 5 departure, then as filed, climb and maintain 6000, expect flight level 37010 minutes after departure, departure on 125.5, squawk 4446, expect runway 8 right.
UPS 2190 is cleared to Philadelphia by the Sunshine 5 departure, climb maintain 6000, departure 125.5, squawk 4446, expecting runway 8 right.
UPS 2190 heavy, read back correct.
Okay, so that's 6,3005, and we can set that one down here as well. 8 right, Sunshine 5, 125.5, we can tune that down here as a backup, or rather as a reminder, like that, and the squawk 4446. Okay, clearance is received and confirmed. And with that, let's go ahead and do our departure briefing, please. Sunshine. Also an interesting idea to call your set. Alright, good. So we'll be departing Ontario, runway 8 right. Sunshine 5 departure, climbing initially to 6,000, MSA 11,600 feet. Engine out sits straight at 15, you'll do that later on anyway. Extra fuel and time is 0. Alright, so we'll be taxiing out pretty much along the entire airport and then full length runway 8 right. Stop margin is more than enough, and the engine out sits straight at 15 miles. Pick up a holding 3,000, well 4,000 let's say, is gonna do fine. Then we can come back over here, runway 8 left, almost 4 kilometers long. I've got nothing special, I've got nothing non-standard. Threats for the departure, the big things over there, called mountains. We're not gonna fly into them, and that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions or suggestions? No? Alright, then that's our departure briefing completed. Okay, so let's have a look into our takeoff performance up next. Set that takeoff weight, that looks all good. Weather is automatic, 59 degrees, flaps 10. So flaps 10, flex 59, packs are off, and then we get takeoff speeds of 134, 156, 170. We got 135, 156, and 170, all within 1 knot. We can accept all of those. Okay, that's all looking fantastic. Then our performance is done. Dial of flap selected, 10 degrees. Like that, and with that we are good to go. Only one thing I want to do real quick is to give me a little bit more brightness on these displays, please. Okay, that's looking much better, is it? Perfect. Well done, we are good to go. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a tug. So prepare position for pushback and departure. External power is disconnected. Services, disconnect, chocks, remove, and we should probably set the park and brake for that. Okay, good to go. So, ground from cockpits. Please confirm all doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed. Roger that, stand by. It has to be nose right later on. So that looks good, all the doors are closed. Alright, then we can do the cockpit checklist, please. Gear pins removed, speedo static checked, cabin signs on, FCP set, speed band 0 taxi, altimeters, QNH 3005, reading 960, set left, set right, and on standby. Fuel. 85,900 pounds. System display status checked. System modes all auto. Takeoff data inserted. Auto brake. So on takeoff. Takeoff warning. It's checked and flap takeoff selected. 10 cockpit checklist complete. Okay, so far so good. Let's call ground and get ourselves that pushback clearance. And that's on 1219er. Oh god, I disarmed the auto brake with that. Here we go. Or not. Here we go. Ontario ground, UPS 2190, heavy request pushback and startup. Pushback approved, tail southeast, UPS 2190. Alright, before start checklist. Cabin secured, mobiles off, engine ignition B, beacon on, system modes auto, park and brake set, before start checklist complete. Ground flight deck. Pushback approved, tail southeast, and the park and brake is now released. After that, start and pushback, stand by for engines. Stand by. Okay, so start sequence is gonna be 312. Actually, no, 213, I think. Actually, stand by. Uh, 312, and we'll begin with engine 3. And 2. You know, that 747 is not parking very well. Fuel on, EGT. Pushback completed, set park and brake. Park and brake set. Start a cutout. Monitor 3, starting 1. Engine 1 start. Fuel flow, EGT. Starter cutout, monitor 1 starting 2. Engine 2 start. Okay, and there's the ramp agent, there's the bypass pin. Okay, stand by. Fuel flow, EGT. That's going easy. Okay, starter cutout, monitor 2. And after start checklist, please. APU off, anti-ice off, system modes auto, after start checklist complete. UPS 2190 heavy, request taxi.
UPS 2190 heavy, runway 8 right taxi via Yankee 2, Yankee Whiskey Sierra.
UPS 2190, taxi runway 08 right via Yankee 2, Yankee Whiskey Sierra. Alright, that's Yankee 2, Yankee Whiskey Sierra. Okay. Clear left side, clear right side. Parking brake released. Let's go. So we're gonna ignore that 747 in front of us because we know that there would be absolutely no way to get past this. Let's just see that from the outside. Yeah, see that? That's gonna be some expensive metal. That guy's supposed to park there or something. That tail needs to be behind here. Well, well, no comment. No comment. Okay, down to 10 knots. I really gotta say, that cargo parking facility here at Vertical Sims Ontario Airport is really nicely done. Really nicely done. Probably gonna fly there more often. Perhaps in a 767 cargo at some point? Bluebird? That's for you. And please do that before they phase out all the 767s. Alright, whiskey next to the right. And we're clear on the left side. Looking at the windsock roundabout in the middle of the picture right now, it's straight crosswind at about 10 knots. That's not too bad. Maybe gust 15, something like that. Overall, easy going. Okay, so flaps 10 please. Spoilers around, trim, need 6.5 units. Like this. So nav armed, profile armed, and then we can review the takeoff briefing. It's left seat takeoff, runway 08 right, flaps 10, noise 2, takeoff speeds 135, 156, 170. The sit straight at 1460, maximum 210 knots, and then at the right turn out, climbing to an altitude of 6,000 initially. When ATC clears us higher later on, there is an 8,000 feet or below restriction on our SID, so a little attention that we do not bust that one. and verify whether we are cleared to climb past that or whether we have to climb via the set. Apart from that, we got that Leasy waypoint, that's the first one after the turn in 5,000, so a little careful there that we do not bust that restriction either. That's due to terrain, so that is a hard restriction in the truest sense of the word. Okay, apart from that, MSA 11,300, engine out straight at 15, climbing 4,000. And if we need to make an immediate re-landing, runway 08 left is available and 3,700 meters long, so that's all good. Alright, and that's the departure briefing completed. So, flight control check, please. Full up. Full down, neutral. Full left, full right, and neutral. And the rudder is responding. We've already seen that during taxi. That's all we need here. Okay, takeoff checklist. Flight control is checked, flaps 10, spoilers armed, trims are 0, 0, and 6.5. EAD checked, takeoff checklist complete. So, tower is gonna be on 1206. Like that. That looks fantastic, doesn't it? I really like the apron models and the taxiway models from Vertical Sim. They're doing an awesome job on those.
UPS 2190 Heavy, contact tower on 120.6, bye-bye.
120.6, UPS 2190, bye-bye. Alright, then we'll just stop here. Ontario Tower, UPS 2190 Heavy, ready for departure. And departure will be on 125.5.
UPS 2190 Heavy, Ontario Tower, runway 8 right, wind 030 at 15, gusting 23. RNAV DC, clear for takeoff.
On off Lisi, runway 08 right, clear for takeoff, UPS 2190 Heavy. Okay, on off to Lisi is what we'll be doing. Ready? Then so am I. Weather radar, we'll just turn it on in the background. Don't really need that for our takeoff. Oh, that's interesting. With the A321 taking off on the parallel runway. Fairly sure it's not supposed to do that. Alright, the American is airborne. Okay, ready? Set, go, take off. Stabilized. Auto flight. Thrust set. 80 knots, checked. V1. rotate. Positive climb, gear up. Alright, there is 1480, let's start that right hand turn. What's the sim doing now? Freezing up? Hello? Will you please keep going? Here we go again. So nav mode command. Oh, to departure UPS 1490 heavy. Nav mode commands a little bit less bank, but since there is no radius to fix commanded here in the SID, I'm going to fly exactly this profile. Ontario departure UPS 2190 heavy, passing 3500, climbing 6000 on the Sunshine 5 departure. Flap 0, speed checked.
UPS 2190 heavy, SoCal departure, radar contact, climb via the SID.
Climbing via the SID, UPS 2190. To which altitude, please? So, slab 0.
American 1423, climb and maintain flight level 190.
So, the 5000 restriction over Leasy is not going to be a problem.
Level 190, American 1423.
American 1423, contact Los Angeles Center on 125.65.
1000 to go. Okay,
125.65 in American 1423.
vertical speed 6000. Okay. So, let's just keep flying for a bit here. We passed Leasy without any problems. Next up is the Papa Oscar Mike restriction of 8000 or less. UPS 2190, when can we expect further climb? Hold 6000.
UPS 2190 heavy, climb now and maintain 17,000.
Climb now and maintain 17,000, UPS 2190. Okay, pitch, climb thrust 170. Auto flight. Alright, so let's just quickly go down in the thrust limits, because climb 2 is absolutely gonna do the job. Insufficient fuel, I disagree. Okay. So, terrain is not an issue any longer, then I'm gonna go over to the weather radar, like this. And here we go, 3000 feet a minute, looks quite good, doesn't it? Ew, that rapid pitch down can only mean that we passed 10,000. And look at that, surprise, we did. Okay, nothing else to do really. So, I'd say for now we are nicely along the way. The coming altitude restrictions shouldn't be any problem at all. I mean, we got like what? 10 miles till we gotta be in 12,000, so easy going. Yeah, 8 miles, absolutely easy going. Alright then guys, I'd say for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And then I see you all when we start the approach to Philadelphia. Level 359, level 391, so yeah. 370 is pretty much obviously the cruise level of choice here. Well then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. Philadelphia approach, UPS 2190 Heavy, descending 8000. Information, Bravo.
Heavy, Philadelphia approach. Good evening, Philadelphia, altimeter 3010. Expect the ILS Zulu runway 9 right approach into Philadelphia.
Expecting the ILS Zulu runway 9 right, UPS 2790.
2190 Heavy, descend and maintain 8000.
Descend and maintain 8000, UPS 2190 Heavy. Okay, my friends, we are descending towards Philadelphia. The weather over there is actually... The weather is actually quite okay. 100 at 17, gust 25, so down the runway, 21 degrees, altimeter 3011. So let's go ahead and set that altimeter. That's 3011, set once, and twice, and 3 times.
Descend and maintain 8,000 feet, turn right, heading 120 vectors for the ILS runway 9 right approach.
Descend and maintain 8000, right heading 120, vectors ILS 9 right, UPS 2190 Heavy. Alright, that's what we've been looking for. So we can maintain that FMS speed, we start slowing down, and then we no longer need that speed brake either. Okay, excellent. So let's go ahead and start talking a little bit about the approach briefing, and while we're about to do that, let's also select flaps 15 again, which I keep forgetting all the time. Alright, so speed is reducing, that's okay. I'm not gonna clean up the flight plan just yet. Who knows what else we might be getting. Now, for the briefing, it's gonna be an ILS approach to runway 09 right, radar vectored as it stands right now. Let me just go ahead and go to the right hand seat over there, like this, and looking at the temperature, it's plus 15, so we do not need anti-ice. Okay, so ILS approach runway 09 right, radar vectored, MSA 2600, minimum 221. Missed approach straight out to 1500, then a right turn, climbing to 3000, direct Oscar Oscar Delta, Woodstown VOR, and hold. Now for our extra fuel and time, we got 17.8 right now, and the minimum required, let's have a look at the OFP. Yeah, that was a bit fast. Right, 17.8, we need approximately 12, so we got 5,000 pounds extra, which gives us, yeah, about 20 minutes. Now, for the approach, we will use flight rector guidance for flap 35 approach on to runway 09 right.
Heavy, descend and maintain 4,000 feet, turn right, heading 145.
Descend and maintain 4,000, right 145. UPS 2790. Okay, heading 145, altitude 4000. Alright, cool. So yeah, we are going to fly flight rector guided ILS approach flaps 35, and we will be using maximum reverse auto brake medium to vacate the runway off to the left hand side, probably Sierra 6 or Sierra 5, as the cargo city is located right at the very beginning of the airport. Okay, so KPH. Why is it closing my
UPS 2190
L?
Heavy, proceed direct to SOC. Descend and maintain 3,000 feet until established on the localizer, cleared for the ILS runway 9 right approach.
Associate descend and maintain 3 until established. Cleared ILS 9 right. UPS 2790. Okay, nav idle and set 3000 checked. Okay, fantastic. So that was rather easy. Now, I'd say that's pretty much everything we have for the time being. So that's our briefing pretty much completed. Hotspots for taxiing while crossing the active departure runway 9 left. And that's it. Questions, comments, or suggestions? None? Alright, perfect. Then that's our briefing completed. So through 10,000. No, lights are on, signs are on, and the altimeter is set 3 times. Okay, excellent. Then we can do the approach checklist, please. System modes, auto, altimeters, QNH 3011. Approach checklist complete. Okay, 12 miles to Asoti. Seems to me that we are a little bit high, aren't we? Like, in Asoki, we're supposed to be in 3,000. That's in 10 miles, we're in 6,000. But we still have to lose a little bit of speed there as well. Tell you what, idle clump. Yeah, a bit of speed break here. So 152 knots approach speed, that's easy. Okay, TAS should be 18.5 later on. Like that. Okay then. Beautiful. That's Philadelphia on the left. Now, would you be so kind to download that airport chart? Apparently not. This thing is still in Ontario. We're not in Ontario, my friends. It's actually inserted that up there. Okay, I don't care. I do absolutely not care. Philly 9 right. Enter, enter. Okay, that's 1,000 to go. 5 miles to go as well. Gonna keep that speed brake and let's extend. Speed checked. And then let's do a bit of hand flying here. Alright, we are cleared for the approach. Land armed. Alright, speed brakes going in, flaps 15. Speed checked, flaps 15.
Phenom 0 Romeo Romeo, contact Washington Center on 128.6.
128.6 for Phenom 0 Romeo Romeo, good day.
UPS 2190 Heavy, contact Philadelphia Tower on 118.5.
118.5, UPS 29, correction, 2790 Heavy. Philly Tower, UPS 2790 Heavy, ILS Zulu 09 right.
UPS 2190 Heavy, Philadelphia Tower, roger.
So, where is the localizer? Here we go. Localizer capture, glide slope capture, Goran altitude 3000 set. Alright, and there's our field in sight.
UPS 2190 Heavy, wind 090 at 18 gusting 27, runway 9 right, cleared to land.
Runway 9 right, clear land, UPS 2190 Heavy.
2500.
Checked. Okay, the MD-11 slows down really well, so I am going to delay the gear extension until we're at 2,000 feet. The airport is located down at sea level, so that's all easy. Alright, gear down, flaps 28. Speed checked. And flaps 35. Speed checked, flaps 35. Alright, landing checklist. So, landing gear down for green, auto brake, medium, spoilers. Armed, flaps 35, EAD, checked, landing checklist complete. Okay. So, nicely established. I can see a runway straight ahead of us. Wind check.
UPS 2190 Heavy, wind 090 at 18 gusting 27.
090 at 18 gust 27. Okay, so it's coming from straight ahead. That's okay. Let's get manual thrust. Now that island down there must be a great place for plane spotting. I'm just not so sure if it's such a great place to actually be on. Speed check, correcting.
500.
An airplane on our runway.
400.
That is an airplane on our runway.
300. Approaching minimum.
Now it's clear.
Minimum.
Sync rate.
Okay.
Sync rate.
100.
That gust was so predictable.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Speed break up, thrust was normal. knots. 80 knots. Did someone put runway edge lights on that center line? Over to ground, UPS 2190. Alright, please tune that for me. Right low, UPS 2190 heavy vacating to... I request taxi to the cargo apron.
UPS 2190 heavy, Philadelphia ground, say again. UPS 2190 heavy, taxi to cargo apron, cargo R1 via Sierra 8, Sierra Whiskey Papa Yankee Kilo, Kilo 8 Juliet.
Sierra Whiskey Papa Yankee Kilo 8 Juliet to the apron, UPS 2190. Okay. UPS 2190, request crossing 09 left. We're not actually at the runway.
UPS 2190 heavy, cross runway 09 or left approved.
Crossing the approach on 9 left approved, UPS 2190 heavy. Alright, but we are crossing the final approach here, that's the reason I'm asking. Okay. So, 4 hours and 19 minutes, and we are nicely on time. I'm gonna make this a little easier here. I'm just gonna taxi straight into the cargo city, which is right in front of us. So, nice and slow. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any data on which of these gates UPS actually parks. But yeah, then we're just gonna take any of those on the left side over here. Would be nice if we had any markings telling us which gate this is. But yeah, then we're gonna do it without GSX. It might spare the life of a marshaller. Oh, what does it say down there? Hotel 3. Okay, well in that case... lights off. Cancel that auto brake disarm light. Thanks. Okay, parking brake set. APU power is available. APU air on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we are. So, engines running down, that's looking good. Alright. Parking checklist. Exterior lights set, anti-ice off, stratum 3 degrees, nose up, system display status. That guy's having a little fentanyl, it seems. Okay, system display status checked, system modes auto, spoilers retracted, slides flaps up, fuel switches off, parking brake set, weather radar off, ATC transponder 2000 and standby, APU air on, parking checklist complete. Alright, then let's go ahead and request unloading over here. Then it's our turn to open up that door. So, disarmed and open. Well, my friends, and that's gonna be it for today's flight. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you liked it. As always, leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video, like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed the flight with the latest TFDI MD-11 update, and with that, I'm really looking forward to seeing you all again on the next one.